Hello YouTube, it's time for my poll plans for the month of October 2021. I'm going about it a little bit different this time. I sat down over the weekend, I'm like, I really don't want to do an hour-long video, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to be going through the stream slides, doing my usual, but I'm going to try and abbreviate it a lot and leave some of the more in-depth stuff as the events come up. We'll see how I like that, trying to lighten my workload and achieve the same end result at the same time. So again, let me know your feedback and if you like the change. The odds of me going back to hour-long videos is probably low, but I'll see how I'm feeling. Again, trying to just optimize what I do. But this is my poll plans. I'm going to be doing an overview of my perspective, having played this period in the Japanese version, highlighting some stuff, outlining my plans for the month. Before I continue though, be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, share this video around, and drop a comment about your plans for the month. I play both JP and Global, and I upload content about both. I also stream once a week. You can see some more of my fun stuff in between, where I make fun of people and other good times. Talk about more interesting topics on the Ranting Hour. Wednesday stream, 8 p.m. Eastern. Is that when I stream? Yeah, it is. It's fun. Check out past streams. Come through for the next one. You'll really like it. It's a lot unfiltered. I do read all the comments, so don't be afraid to ask anything. And I'm going to say that this is all my opinion and impression. I'm basing a lot of it off assumptions on JP. Stuff is subject to change, as I always say in Global. So don't take it as fact. I can screw up. I do issue corrections. Always double check your sources. Don't feel like you can't correct me, because I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong about something. Nobody can really tell you anything if you're the first person to say you're wrong about something. I'm a human with bias anyway, so feel free to point out anything you believe I may have missed, and we can talk about it. So like I said, I'm gonna be jumping through these slides. I'm gonna try and do this in one take too, so I don't have to edit nothing. Road to 4K subscribers, by the way. So what's quality of life? We are getting auto sell finally, thank God. My inventory is almost full in Global. I've been waiting. I wait every month near the end for just auto sell, and now we are getting it. I'm very happy about that. Also, before I talk about, I want to talk about the BT Plus material stuff. So this, first off, this is not my first take of this video. I talked for like half an hour and that defeated the purpose, so I want to run through this a little bit more quickly. But I've already reacted to the fact that they revealed that we're getting more Twitter rewards, or in the monthly allowance or whatever we get. We're getting more, and people are still freaking out about this stuff, saying we're not going to be able to green someone off the bat unless we book someone. In JP, there was the Chaos co-op that we're getting on, let's see, on this slide, the Harvest Madness. It's the exact same one that the Anniversary co-op, at least the bosses wise, that JP had. And in this co-op, additionally, we were able to get a BT ingot just by getting enough co-op points. It looks like this is a well, I don't know what kind of co-op it is, but basically we reached like 1,000,000 points and something, and then we got the BT ingot, and that went by relatively quickly. Like within a day at most. It'll probably go faster in Global. So my prediction is that we're going to get a BT ingot here. I don't know for sure, but it's a even guess either way. I'd prefer not to assume the worst, because it wouldn't really make sense for Square Enix not to give us that ingot. People are saying, oh, it's going to be pushed back to Anniversary, because people misinterpreting Josh's words. So I'd rather not be goofy about that. Oh yeah, this co-op quality of life, really good as well, because I always AFK in the co-ops when the party's ready, so it'll be real helpful for me. But back to the ingot stuff. Yo, just react to what we get. Don't react to your idea of what we'll get. It's getting out of hand at this point, and Reddit's getting silly, and it's always fun to poke fun at them. But just chill and be easy. All right, y'all. See what it is, and we'll adjust our expectations accordingly. But now we get to talk about this festival. 2X keep going. This, like I said, this is the JP co-op. It was a Chaos co-op in JP, so it's a good farm for everyone involved in this. Should be all the 6 people. This is the Pandemonium co-op, and we get 8 free multi-draws, which is it seems to imply that there's not going to be the campaign banners, and Josh seemed to allude to this on the stream, that Zack, we're expecting Zack during Ace's cycle, and we were expecting Tifa to be run with Aphmau on this cycle, but Tifa might just get snapped entirely. Or it's also possible, and again, I don't work in odds, because we can't accurately we can't accurately apply odds to what's going to happen with these banners. It's just guesses, just speculation. But it's either Tifa's getting snapped and she's getting delayed for her rerun until her C90, or they could just as easily pull an Aphmau and put Tifa's LD on the Reigns banner, for example. They could do that, replace her LD with Mog, because Mog's kind of dated at this point, and then shove him as EX only on that banner. That's a possibility. What else could they do? They could do the same with Zack down the line. They could actually put Zack. They could replace Palom on the Quistis LD banner. They could put they could be Quistis and Zack LD, double new LD. Would they do that? Probably not. I don't think, because they're not really in the business of two new LDs at once. But I'm not gonna say that there's no options. Or maybe they'll put Zack next to Bartz. Who knows? I certainly don't. So keep your options open. We'll see what it is when it gets here. I'll talk a little bit more about Zack once we get over to that. But yeah, stickers are cute too. And the panels. LD tokens, $80 for an LD. Don't buy this. Divine Panda. So I'm going to briefly go over this. The farm's pretty quick. Zidane makes it easy because he deletes turns. Zidane, he gets reworked. His skills do more damage. His LD lets him delete turns on break. So that's pretty good. His burst lets him become a healer for the party and a party battery. Also with some decent effects. His debuffs are good. And now the free consecutive, so he breaks on the free turn. He deletes on the break and he gets a consecutive turn afterwards. So he becomes a turn stealer. He literally takes their turns away. That's nice. Good BT. Anyone downplaying Zidane because of his damage or any, like, Zidane falls off immediately. First off, there's literal Zidane sagas on YouTube if you look hard enough, and if you're not smart enough to do that, don't expose yourself like that. Please don't be dumb. But Zidane's utility, like, you don't even think about him as like a super damage dealer, because he's not. His damage isn't the greatest, but he's the best deleter by far in the entire game, and he can make stages brain dead. Like, if the bosses don't need to get turns, Zidane just needs to break them, and you'll never see their turn again. It's actually hilarious because speed down on top of delete means they're just way off in the shadow realm. So Zidane's great. I greened him in JP. I initially regretted it because I wasn't really feeling him at first, but then as I got used to his kit and appreciate what he does, great investment. So Zidane fans, rejoice. Y'shtola, LD board rework. Her special brave hits now, brave attacks do actually more damage and battery the party on the regular one, and the DPS one, the level 3 one, does a lot more damage. Good stuff there. She gets actual auras on her LD overhead now, like party brave and HP damage up, and her BT effect gets extended to, the big one is brave gain up 50% to help counteract Lufenia brave gain reductions. You don't need this to get through Lufenia plus, don't get it wrong. There's on the other side of the aisle, there's people like, oh, Y'shtola falls off immediately. When Goofy Alphano did a Y'shtola saga for like on release until her C90, and she's still going. She has literally never fallen off. So if you say that, you're also a dumbass. Yeah, Y'shtola's good. Her skills don't get reworked, but that's fine. Beatrix might be one of the best LD board glow ups to date. Now with her LD board, she gets self thunder enchant, and her debuff from her LD, now she has debuff star, but her debuff also has thunder imperil on it, which means you can't bring it to imperil immune stages anymore, still get the debuffs off. And now also her LD follow-up becomes a counter, kind of like how Gao's work. So if the party gets attacked, she will do her follow-up after that. So this increases her damage output substantially. And she really just becomes a monster. On paper, it doesn't look like she got all that much, but personally, in my use, she's really good. Zidane and Beatrix is a loaded banner, like for real, like, y'all, that's a good one to pick up. And then Rinoa, probably the most underwhelming out of the bunch, still viable, but her she gets better stances. Her aura stance, her support stance gets better party auras, and her attack stance, the wing stance, gets better damage in the form of better brave and HP attacks, and they charge her EX more, so she's pumping out a lot more damage. She hasn't rerun yet in JP because she's probably gonna BT soon. It's about her time. Yeah, and then the event, Starter Lufenia Plus. What do I have to say about that? It's a delete orb. It's plus 10 on the delete, and sometimes it summons a tornado, and then you gotta delete them to make it go away. If you don't do that, there's also a plus 1 orb on the orb for doing an attack when you buff. Doing an attack when you buff. So like Titus gets a quick hit and stuff when he attacks. So I know there's Zidaneless runs, not even as a friend. There's like what, Titus, Jack, and Paladin Cecil. There's ways around this without deleting. It's very possible, not as fun, but it's possible. So don't freak out. Oh, I can't do this without green Zidane or whatever. Zidane LD is the path of least resistance. So as for my plans for this, I am going for Zidane. I want his LD. I'd love to get his BT, but I'm not going to chase it because I don't want to. My new game plus strategy, if I get his BT, it's 0-3 at max, because I've already run him a lot and I'm happy with my usage. But I do plan to green Y'shtola because I haven't really used her much, and I want to. Beatrix, I want that LD because I'm probably going to blue both Beatrix and Y'shtola. just because I think they're really good units and they can get a lot of mileage out of them. And then I'll farm with whoever. I don't really care who I farm with at this point. Cyan 80 hype, shout out to Necklord. Let's keep going. And yeah, the fight's probably going to be done with Y'shtola, Zidane, and Beatrix. All right, next. Not important. I already explained this. Check out my other video on BT Plus. I hope I explained it quickly enough. Lufenia Plus, blah blah blah. Quality of life, beating the challenge gets you the Chaos win, and beating the Lufenia Plus gets you the Lufenia win. It's good stuff. Blah blah blah. People losing their minds over this stuff, thinking that's all we get. That whole Reddit thread aged like milk. Dear God. Okay, next up we got Guy's Lost Chapter. Guy isn't getting much, but Cinque is. She now reworked better skills, and her LD puts down like a HP damage up debuff and like 100% defense down, but it goes down sleep style on enemies when they get attacked. But now she delays after all of her attacks too with a follow-up. So Cinque does send herself back still, but she brings the enemies with them. So she's all right. That debuff is real good. The actual orb for the fight is to deal damage, HP damage, while an HP damage debuff is up. But the problem is that people who bring Kurasame, they are immune to Imperials. So you gotta bring Aerith in the party or Agri's in the party with their Brave Plus stun, or Gabronth Call. Gabronth Call is the path least resistance here. So like, if you really want to just like cheese out this fight, Gabronth Call, Zidane deleting turns, and then just beat up on them while they don't act. Otherwise, you gotta deal with more mechanics, and these guys can get a little bit deadly. But it's +1 for Earth on the orb too, so you could also get around it that way if you brought Guy Copium. But he ain't getting nothing until his C90. I'm skipping this banner. I was thinking about using Cinque, maybe, but then I'm like, not really my thing. And then we have the uber hype Sid motherfucking Reigns. The way he works is I don't even know what order of his buffs work, but he if you have everything set up correctly, then he launches on every skill, and after he initiates a launch, it's only when he initiates one, he'll do a follow-up in midair that ignores defense and has self batteries in between. It ends up doing a lot of damage. He's also got Dispel and Ezina on his EX, and on top of that, he's got turn manipulation on a couple of his skills, and he's got an instant turn rate special HP plus. I think he gets it after using EX, or maybe it's LD. It's one of them. Either way, Sid Reigns is broken to all hell. And if you want to run through content, a lot of content you can do with Bartz BT plus, Sid Reigns, and then Afmao. You can just link their turns together. So that's the famous combo. I can cheese a lot of content. Not my speed, unfortunately. I only used Sid Reigns twice. I used him in this event, and then I used him in Shadow's raid event, because the orb was ignore defense and there was like some debuffs that happened, so Sid got rid of those. But really, I didn't find much use for him outside, because he's just entirely too broken. Now, if you're only interested in like meta teams and trying to save and plan and build your resources back up, the Sid, the Reigns is obviously a good option. And anyone who isn't really attached to trying to be creative, you're kind of a fool if you don't get Reigns, unless you're trying to be a hipster. So it is what it is there. Copium says that Tifa might be on this banner instead of Mog LD, but Mog should be getting his Heimer Plus here at least. Oh yeah, they said that on the slide. Who knows? Tifa might replace Steiner. Anything can happen on this banner, so I'm not gonna say entirely what it will. The fight is notoriously horrible because you need to do 250k launch damage in midair. So the one that initiates the launch. So say you bring Lael to this fight, and any damage that Lael does on the ground before the enemy goes in the air will not count towards the orb. You need to do 250k in midair, and Reigns obviously handles that very well. You can get around this with battering everyone beforehand. Maybe braving it up, battering like Porum, Kais, Y'shtola, just doing crazy, making sure everyone's battery before you get a launch, and then the wall damage factors in somehow. So it is possible without Reigns. It's just tricky. Reigns friend's helpful here. Reigns is a good call also because his LD call makes it so every turn you take, you launch, so that can be really abused within BT phases for battery units like Y'shtola and what's her name? Yuna, for example, or Ramza, maybe, not really. My plans, I'm gonna try and do this without Reigns. I'm going to try. I have Lael's BT, so I'm thinking like Y'shtola, Porum, and Lael, and then because they'll both be blue, Lael will be booked only. And if I can amass enough HP damage in the air, I'm gonna try it, because I wouldn't really use Reigns if I had him. Not really interested in the Afmao, the Sid Mao shenanigans, so it is what it is there. But everyone else, like, I recommend getting him. Don't struggle with this fight if you don't have to. Just try and get Reigns. He's broken. He will cheese a lot of content for you. It's a good pickup, but obviously not needed for future content at all. Let's keep going. Ace. Rework, more damage. His LD gives him party aura. It makes his I think it's his overhead better. But so he's got good stuff there, and he gets traps. And these traps can stack with a bunch of defense down, and there's turn shenanigans and off-turn stuff, but you can control when the traps go off. So the Ace is probably one of the best BT units. In fact, if you were to hold a gun to my head and ask what, if purely meta purposes, what BTs would I green this month, it would be Bartz #1 and Ace #2. Because Ace is deceptively helpful in a ton of stuff. Just that off-turn damage is always really good, but the fact that you can control when the damage goes off via his traps is very good. He pumps out a lot of damage, and he helps the party. He's got the Brave Stolen Up thing that Sephiroth and Golbez have too. So he's doing a lot more damage than you realize. Party buffs, defense down, off-turn damage, splash damage, and he batteries the party as well. Like I think does he batter the party on his traps? I don't exactly know, but Ace is a god. Ace is one of my biggest regrets for not greening. I cheaped out in JP, and I really should have just greened him because it would have been way better for me. So I plan to rectify that in global spoilers for my poll plans at the end. Kimahri got a good glow up as well, better party auras. I think he's got like 30 brave and 20 HP damage up, so that's good. And he's got an instant EX charge on a special HP. I think it's after using LD. I don't know exactly how he works, but yeah, Kimahri's really good, and enemies rarely, guaranteed hits do happen, but not all the time. So Kimahri having access to that blind frequent and the true blind is actually very helpful. And I know a ton of people who ran him into the ground. He's actually, we love the meme on Kimahri, but he's actually really good. Especially with the roll coverage with the healing, the debuffs, you're not getting hit as hard when you do get hit or if they're missing. So yeah, Kimahri got the goods. Ferris is just getting Heimer plus. Copium says that Zack will be here instead of Ferris LD. What else? And then Bartz BT is on the other banner. He's getting BT plus. All he gets on BT plus is he enchants the party with wind, and he gets like 25% brave damage up, which isn't that much on paper, but the fact that you can do it twice and the weakness damage plus not needing a debuff and the brave gain up makes him actually incredibly hilariously broken. He can just work on any team. Free multi on both. And this is the second half of the same JP co-op that we got, so we might get another Ingot here. I don't know exactly how that's gonna work. Yeah, good units all around. This, like, except for Ferris is butt, except as outside of a call, but yeah, good stuff here. As for Transcendence 5, lots of stupid going around here for the right stage. People think that you need Bartz in the party when that's completely not the case, because the orb is to deal weakness damage, but they are immune to imperils. So Bartz in the party is obviously a solution here, but Bartz base call does that as well. So people have done this actually with just a base, like a bronze Bartz in the party, or they've done it with Bartz's call and put it on a turn steal or an off-turn damager like Yang, for example. Now we have Core. So Core with Bartz's call on him could probably just handle the orb entirely for you. People are freaking out about this stage, and it's going to be like, wait, why was this stage hyped up? This stage rolled over, especially because they don't have a lot of HP in the first place, and it's base Lufenia. The way Transcendence works going forward is that only the middle stage is Lufenia plus. Both the side stages are regular Lufenia, so they're power crept on release. You can blow through these and not have to deal with the orb. It is that simple. The right stage is not difficult in the slightest. That is a fear, stupidity propagated by people who don't understand the game, and who don't bother doing their research. Just talk to any JP players who actually did the stage. It ain't bad, bruh. And the left stage is just a trap orb, and it's magic resist, and they want Ace over there. So the middle stage, I don't even remember if it did have an orb, obviously, but I think it was one of those ones like keep them below 10k brave, which means just keep. So Zidane is actually probably the best unit here because he'll delete the ads over time. I mean, not the ads. So it's a mummy boss in the middle with 2 ads, and what you got to make sure is to drop the ads HP below 50% as the boss gets through threshold. So like 80, 50, I think it is, and maybe it's 20. I don't remember exactly, but if the ads aren't below 50 when you drop the boss's health enough, then they'll dispel you and then hit you. But if at the threshold, if you do it, then they'll just hit you and they won't dispel you. You can actually eat these attacks with Gladio. You can eat them with Beatrix in the party and just put a Paladin's protection. Just make sure you take those ads down and you're good. So the stage isn't that bad at all. Zidane's good here. So left side, I'm thinking Ace. Actually, let me go over my plans first. So I want Ace and I want Kimahri. So I might just flat out gem this banner, or depending on how many tickets I have, I just take it until I can take it no more. And hopefully give both their LDs, 'cause I think they're both pretty powerful. Well, Ace, I want to green, but I'll do that eventually when I get his burst. If I don't get it, pulling in all the banners throughout a cycle, because I plan to, spoiler alert. And I'll I'll token it because I have enough extra BT tokens from my going nuts on the BT pity banner, triple BT. As for the runs, left side, I'm thinking Ace, someone. I don't know. Maybe Ace. No, because it's melee. So maybe Gladio on the right side. I want to put Gladio somewhere. Ace on the left side somewhere, and on the right side, I'm probably gonna put Core with a Bartz call, and maybe Barrett, and maybe a third Sephiroth. No, I put Sephiroth on the right, didn't I? I don't know. But we're gonna steamroll that stage somehow. It should be fun. And in the middle, I'm gonna do Ace. Or I put Ishtola on the right, probably. They're going somewhere eventually. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do it. Screw it. Let's go to the next one now. But I do want Ace. Ace LD is a must. Kimahri LD I want to get pretty badly. Aranea doesn't get anything on our lost chapter except high armor, but Prompto gets a good upgrade. He gets a loaded LD with the off-turn follow-up that insta breaks. And you got HP regen on it, party damage up, I believe. I don't know exactly, but he gets some good stuff, and he's got such wide coverage that he becomes useful for content down the line, like range orbs, HP regen orbs. If you need breaks on the off turn, stuff like that. Off turn units are always good for like strict orbs that can be done with damage, so that's good. The actual fight, the way it's range damage +1 and crit damage +1, so Prompto obviously satisfy that. Barrett in the party can do that. Trey, by breaking them and making them critable on his EX debuff. Trey saved me a lot on release in JP when I had to do this, so that was fun. Yeah, Trey, I think Prompto's pretty good. He's got a lot of stuff that can be used for shenanigans, and so I'm interested in him. I want to probably ticket him somehow. Hopefully I get Ace's BT along the way again. Not much else to say there. Yeah, I don't know who I'm gonna run. Probably Barrett and Prompto third, stealing off of Sephi's run. And then we have the Quistis thing at the end. There's a lot of misinformation going on about this fight too, because the orb is plus, I think it's like +10 on a 2 or more turn delay. Quistis LD, well, let me talk about Quistis first, actually. Quistis, her rework gives her more skill 2s, and it's an instant turn rate, so she can delay like consecutively pretty quickly. And her skill 1 is an AoE delay now with splash damage. Her LD recovers a use of her skill 2 only, I believe it might be both, but double check me on that. And so she becomes an even better delay machine. And now she gets party brave gain up, and I think it's party HP damage up, don't know exactly. And she ignores delay immunity. So if the enemy's turn is framed, she can still go through it anyways. So that's funny. I love Quistis. I really should have used her more in JP, but I didn't. And I'm gonna rectify that too. I'm probably gonna buy her costume, honestly, because it's really cool. Yeah, so the issue with the fight is, well, on paper, for people who don't actually talk to JP players will tell you the stage was cake. As it looks horrible on paper because they recover 10% HP regen every turn that it's like HP thresholds like 80, 50, whatever. And if you don't delay them, then by 3 turns, then they start recovering 10% HP every time you do something. The thing is, though, that this isn't hard to do. Base Quistis, 35 CP Quistis. You don't need Quistis LD to do this. That's the kicker. Cloud of Darkness friend, Cloud of Darkness in party. But really, the easy part is you can just have a Quistis in the party, because I think Quistis says 6 uses off the bat of her skill 2 now. Yeah, because she's got 5 at base, and then she can recover 1 with her additional ability. So that's 6, and you need to delay them 3 turns each, like by 3 times during the fight. So that's enough to do that. It actually isn't, and then they have like 7 million HP, which isn't a lot. That's like half of a BT phase. So while they recover it a lot, and they have more HP than it seems, Quistis LD is not required for this fight. Anyone who tells you that has not done enough research. Back to the drawing board. Anyways, I want Quistis. I like Quistis. I'm gonna get her costume. I want a blue her as well. So I think I didn't mention before, but I want a blue Ace as well. So like my blues for this month, I'm like stacked. I'm like, what? Ishtola, Beatrix, Ace, Quistis. Am I forgetting someone? Yikes, brain farting here. I said this in Discord earlier too, and I forgot. Let's try it again. Ishtola, Beatrix, skipping Cinque, Ace, blue. Damn, I'm bugging, aren't I? Oh yeah, Zack. I didn't talk about Zack. So Zack was originally in between Quistis and Aranea of Lost Chapter. We don't know who he's gonna be now. So jury's out there, but I'll talk about him for a second anyways. His LD gives him more party defensive party auras, party defense up, party HP damage reduction, and he overheals the party. I think he gets party HP regen up 2. And his rework just makes him do a lot more damage. And skill 2 ignores defense now. And skill 1, as long as he's being taunted, double taps. And it's an AoE taunt as well. So Zack, his damage gets brought up to par. He is the damage dealer who also has tanking capacities. Very, very happy with what they gave him. Wherever they move him, I don't care. It's gems on sight. Zack is my favorite character. And they sold a snowboard skin with it in JP, but I don't know how they're going to do that now in GL. So that remains to be seen as well. And that's all the slides. So I managed to do this only 5 minutes slower than I did before. Format needs work, but I want to keep doing it like this, one take, because that's a lot easier for me. I can get the videos out faster and focus on other things. Again, let me know you guys' plans in the comment. What am I most excited for this month? Let's see. Ishtola, actually everyone. Blue Ishtola, Blue Beatrix. I'm really excited to try Reigns' event without him and put Lael to work. Excited to Blue. I'm excited for everything this month, pretty much. Be fun stuff to see. Fun to see a lot of Reddit salt, a lot of copium. There's gonna be two sides. There's gonna be the wow, this was overhyped crowd, and there's gonna be wow, and this fight was so easy. Except I planned 9 months in advance. These fights are not easy this month, but people did take advantage of foresight, but not everyone did. So don't clown on them. Remember, Yuna's Lufenia and Kadaj's fight. A couple fights caught a lot of people off guard a couple months ago. We remember that because that'll show that when some people don't plan, they kind of fall apart. You're not as good as you think you are. That's not directed at anyone in specific, but that's all it is. Don't be a clown. It's always going to be a war between the people who say the stuff was overhyped and the people who are broke and can't do it. Just say what the fights are and try your best and support everyone as a community. But I will be laughing at salty Redditors with horrible takes, so stay tuned for that. That's probably what I'm most excited for. That's the community wars this month. I'm the worst, but my plans are I want Beatrix LD, Blue, Zidane LD for farming and for Panda. Ishtola is gonna get greened. Skip Guy, skip Cinque, skip Reigns, whatever else is on that banner. Then I want Ace and I want Kimahri. I'm going to leave Bartz at 0 to 3. I'm not going to green him yet. I might down the line, but Ace takes priority. I want Prompto's LD. I want Quistis and I want to blue her. And wherever Zack is, I'll get him as well. So again, let me know your plans in the comments. Hope this was easier for me to make. Hope this was slightly informative. And I'll be releasing more in-depth videos. I'm going to keep refining this format as I go along each month. Again, give me feedback. But thanks, guys. Glad to be back. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.